Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Speak from the Heart, a testimonial podcast series where athletes share their story about how God has worked through their athletic career. And today I have a right-handed pitcher as well as the president of FCA at the University of Pikeville, Mark Prewitt. So, Mark, welcome to the show, man. I'm really excited to have you on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm super excited, so can't wait to get started.
Tell me how it was growing up in Corbin. I mean, we live, I don't know, not that long, not that far. I grew up in Somerset, so I'm sure our experiences will be very similar. But how did your hometown shape you as both a person and an athlete?
I think that's a really good question. So Corbin, very small town. There's not a lot that goes there. What was really the biggest thing was sports, especially football and baseball. That was really a big thing in basketball. There was just Corbin was always surrounded with sports, with being kids, with being with people. And I think really what shapes Corbin of how it is just the tradition that carries there, especially having Um, as Corbin is as vigorous it is with sports, they are very well known for sports. So I think it does put a lot of pressure on you, especially you're playing at a school that's vigorously known for sports. Um, but I think I learned as me being a person, I think I'm always going to deal with that kind of pressure in life too. There's always going to be stress in life, even if it's outside of just sports. It's going to be in your life. It's going to be your relationships, work environment. Even say you're being a teacher or being a coach or being an athlete or a personal trainer, there's just so many different types of stress that is involved with it. And it can be many different forms too.
Yeah.
So, and I think as being an athlete like Corbin was really just seeing the different types of stress that's presented
Mm.
to athletes. You don't even know that is even a pressure. Really a big one. I'll give you an example. Going against Corbin versus Whitley, always a big rivalry every year.
Hmm.
That was always a big rivalry. So like, all right, well, Willie has won this past one. Well, we need to win this one. Or yeah, this kid's pitching, and we know we need him to pitch. We need to know that he's going to pitch well. And you have possibly thousands of people watching you from a live stream to being in person, and probably from different counties outside the area too.
Yeah.
Uh, you could definitely see it like at the region tournament. That was another big one too. Seeing it at the region tournaments was, it's pretty good group of crowd of people. So a lot of
Yeah.
pressure and a lot of eyes were looking at you. So I think being an athlete and being a person, you learn with how to adapt to stress, not to deal with it, but to adapt to stress.
Yeah.
And I felt such a big difference from actually adapting to stress to dealing with stress because dealing it with it, you'd be like, well, I've got it. But if you adapt, you learn how to face that.
Right.
Uh, so that's what I've learned in Corbin, being an athlete and being a person, is just how to adapt.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned how some guys from other teams or other schools will come watch you. I remember playing Pulaski, and that's our rival, and Southwestern guys would show up, some Danville dudes would show up. Like it always felt like all those teams were watching us, and I always loved that. I always liked to know that they were keeping an eye on us and watching us close to see what we had. But that's cool. And you actually also bowled. You played baseball and you bowled for
Yep.
Corbin.
Yep.
So and you earned lots of accolades. So, what lessons did playing both of those sports teach you about discipline, competition, and teamwork as a whole?
So bowling, we didn't have a bowling tournament. Well, we didn't have a bowling alley close to home. At that time, we had to drive all the way to Harrogate, Tennessee, which you were talking about, before that you played at LMU.
Mhm.
And we drove all the way to Harrogate, Tennessee just to practice. And so that was already a lot of discipline. It was right out of school. You already got out of class. You had about 30 minutes. You had to be on the bus at 4. And we had to drive an hour there, practice for 3 hours, and drive an hour back. And
Yeah.
that's also at that time, baseball was in full swing too in the fall, because you're on the field. And I was doing both sports at the same time. So it's
Hmm.
definitely a lot. But I never thought the accolades never meant anything. For here's my
Yeah.
reason is because um, what my purpose am I doing it for? Like, does the purpose of actually earning those accolades really does it really shape me as a person?
Hmm.
Because I can earn all these accolades in the world, but if it doesn't represent my true self, my true character, the accolades doesn't mean anything.
Hmm.
I could win Mr. Kentucky Baseball and say, yes, I'm the best baseball player. But then if my character doesn't show being that kind of player or being that kind of athlete, that accolade doesn't mean much to me.
Yeah.
So I've always thought the accolades doesn't show like any actual athletic advantage, but it shows that like my character has to step up 10 times more.
Hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
if I didn't become a better character and a better person, a better man, a better follower of Christ, then the accolades doesn't mean anything. It
Yeah.
actually gives you the reverse effect of it.
Right.
It can actually mean a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
So that's how I've seen with many accolades. And also being nationally ranked, I was actually nationally ranked at one period of time as well. I went to a national tournament. I got 192, second place out of 600 bowlers. That
Nice.
was from
Wow.
all from Hawaii, California, Colorado. And going against these different athletes, you see many different things and the talent that they could show.
Hmm.
There was one guy at the top, you would think, is this guy really at the top? Because his character didn't really show that.
Yeah.
And I was humble, like, well, I got the place I got to be at, but I was thankful I got to do it
Right.
because there are many opportunities I get to go and face national competition.
Yeah.
So I've never let the accolades represent me, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's a way for me to say it's a checkpoint for me. Like, all right, now I've got to continue to keep growing
Hmm.
and to represent accolade well.
Yeah. And what's cool about that is playing for more than yourself, like you had mentioned. And you
Yes,
do it and who you do it for.
yes.
And we do it for Jesus. And how do we show that we are a follower of Jesus through how we play? It's hard. Sometimes it's a fine line that we walk. You get pumped up, you want to get in somebody's face, you want to yell at them, and especially like if you get a big strikeout, maybe it's like bases loaded and you're up by one and you get the last punchy of the inning and you just want to pop off the mound and scream at
Yeah,
everyone's face. Like that's not the way that Jesus would do it.
yeah,
And obviously, like you said about the trophy case, what do they mean if that doesn't represent you as a person?
yeah.
And obviously, hardware is good. We love hardware, but
Absolutely.
in the end, we're working on earth to get the jewels to our crown in heaven. And
Absolutely.
how do we do that? We do that by representing Jesus and how he would treat others, how he would compete. I talked to Jonathan Sunshine Looters. He was, I think, episode 5. He plays for the Texas Tailgaters for the Banana Ball League, and he talked about how would Jesus compete? Are we competing like Jesus would? And that really stuck with me.
Mm,
And something I try to carry with myself every day now. But yeah, so let's talk about college. You started at
okay.
Union. You
Okay.
you didn't get to play there before transferring. We talked about this briefly before we started recording, but what was that period like for you, and how did you navigate those challenges that you faced mentally and spiritually?
There was a lot with me not playing, that was very, very hard. Because I was just came off my senior year, played a lot that year. That was in my COVID senior year. That is when I finally touched the field after 5 years of not touching the field. And it took a lot. It took a lot of patience. But I think God teaches you more than just your abilities. He teaches you to be patient.
Hmm.
And teaches you wisdom. And he talks about that wisdom is the most precious thing that he can give you, more than gold and silver alone.
Hmm.
Um, it really taught me, it was from being at Union, was really just wisdom, because that was when I got my first taste of me being on my own.
Yeah.
And yes, I was close to home, but it was also like now you're on your own a little bit. You're kind of learning life without your mom and dad,
Hmm.
without having mentors right over top of you.
Yeah.
And so I think I had to learn wisdom very quick
Hmm.
because um playing college, being a college athlete is so much more responsibility than more than just being a student athlete. A
Yeah.
college athlete is so much more. And I think what I was talking about earlier is the pressure. There's so much pressure you being on a college athlete. You got your grades, you got classes, you got weights, you got even tutoring if you need it, and if you're any extra extracurricular activities, like that's even another part too. Like if you, I gave tours at Union too. So that
Yeah.
added another sort of pressure to me as well. And I was talking about the accolades. My accolades can't represent me as a person because if they're first time meeting me, they don't want to know about me, about my accolades, want to know about my character.
Hmm.
And so me not getting to play, I learned a lot about my character and not showing other people that I'm not playing, that I'm not
Yeah.
happy. I'm going to show that I'm continuing to be there every day. And
Yeah.
Jesus always shows up for us. Well, so why do I not show up for somebody else?
Hmm.
Just shows up every day and he stretches himself out. Why can't I stretch out myself out to other people?
Yeah. And we go through these challenges. We face uncertainty. Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? How do I get through this? And
Mhm.
Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 6 says, Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lead not on your own understanding. And always submit to him, and he will make your path straight. So I think that that verse is that literally just sums up any discomfort, any uncertainty, any lack of hope that we may experience. It's all
Mhm.
there. We see that right there as trust in the Lord with all of your heart. And I think that's a hard line to walk sometimes because you're like, what are you trying to teach me, God? What is happening? Why is this not going my way? Where do you
Mhm.
want me to be? And we have those questions. I had those questions a lot. And throughout my years at EKU, those 2 years I was there. And
I was gonna say another thing too I learned is that what does that actually mean? Like trusting with entirety of yourself to trust to the Lord.
yeah.
I think it's so easy for us to give, as I learned, a 75 and 25% rule. It's so easy for us to give God 75%,
Hmm.
but we're not ready to give him that 25% just yet. We
Yeah.
want to give that 25%.
Yeah.
And it could even be even 90-10. We want to give God 90% of it, but there's a 10 that we still want to do ourselves.
Hmm.
I've had to learn just give it everything I can just to give it to him.
Yeah.
Because I think it was so easy for me. It's like, all right, I'll give him a little bit more and see what he can do. We'll do a little
Yeah.
bit more, a little bit more. But I should have just went all in.
Hmm.
Uh, but that's what I really learned was from when you were saying with Proverbs 3:5 is that you really have to give all into that. It's not just 50-50. It's not 75-25.
Yeah.
It's 100 and 100. And I
Right.
think that's where most relationships really work the best is when you give 100 and 100.
Hmm. Exactly
Um,
right.
a lot of people say, oh, it's 50-50. No, it's 100 and
Hmm.
100.
Hmm. Yeah.
I
Good
think
right there. That's awesome.
so. I've always thought if Jesus stretched himself out for me, I need to stretch myself out to him.
Yeah.
And it can be through many different ways too, with your faith, with your prayer, with your walk, and just stretching out to other people too.
Hmm.
Generosity.
Yeah.
Um, and everybody called me Smiles because I always smiled being there.
Hmm.
That's part of my day is being on the field
Yeah.
because then I'm with a group of people that I love to be with.
Hmm.
Yeah, situation wasn't going my way, but the people I was being with, that I stretched out myself to other people, and that's memories I'll always remember is
Yeah.
being with them. So
Exactly.
I didn't remember what pitch I made and striking out four in a row. I don't remember that, but I
Hmm.
remember the athletes. I remember the family I built. So
Hmm.
that's what more than me than anything.
Yeah. And trusting in the Lord becomes such a cliche nowadays. I think we hear it and we're like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then we continue to, give 50% or give that 25% or, not give that 25% or not give that 10%,
Yeah.
but just really submitting your life to him and knowing that whatever he has planned for you is his way and he is perfect and his ways are always good.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, man, that's some good stuff. So let's talk about after you transferred.
Okay.
You earned FCA Male Athlete of the Year at the Bears
Yes.
Awards.
Yeah.
So, what motivated you to keep pushing through whenever you transferred to Pikeville? And how did you continue to perform at a high level and pushing through those setbacks and that uncertainty that you faced?
Really the biggest thing was patience. As I've learned as going out through life, the more patient we are, I think the more we appreciate us being patient.
Hmm.
Um, as I was being patient, I was being impatient. And then I finally got the call, hey, you're going out in the field. I was like, oh wow. Like I'm going against
Yeah.
Campbell's. We were already down 13-4. I remember this.
Hmm.
And but I'm getting ready to play my first college game ever. Um, but like I was saying earlier, earning that male athlete of the year, yes, I didn't get to play a whole lot that year, but I've never used that as saying, yeah, I'm the best athlete out there.
Hmm.
That God did all these setbacks. He put me purposely in these setbacks for myself to learn.
Yeah.
Because I think for it's so easy for us as being a Christian is that we think, oh, our life will be 10 times easier.
Hmm.
I think he
Yeah.
actually puts us ourselves in these setbacks, in these difficulties, because it talks about in James chapter 1, verse 2 and 3, because he says that uh, trials and tribulations will build your endurance and your faith. And so I
Yes.
think he purposely put myself through those trials, through those tribulations, so I can build endurance. And endurance is not just like when you're running in a marathon, you have to have endurance to run fully through the marathon.
Hmm.
But in that marathon, sometimes you need to walk.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll jog. Sometimes you'll just barely get there. But
Yeah.
I thought that built my endurance just to keep going. And
Hmm.
that endurance finally came through.
Yeah.
And um and I got to have my first collegiate pitches and my first collegiate out. And that meant so much to me because I'm like, all this time and all this tribulations I went through was all worth it.
Yeah.
But and I also learned is that yes, I got Male Athlete of the Year, but there's more to that. I have to continue to stretch out because it's so easy for us to be stagnant and just to stay still. Oh, I got that
Hmm.
now. Keep going.
Yeah.
Never ending marathon in life
Hmm. Yeah.
because we're continuously being a disciple. If we
Hmm.
just continue to stop, then we're being stagnant. Does the disciples stop? No, they kept moving forward. Paul
Hmm.
kept moving forward. So if we
Yeah.
continue to stay stopped, Paul would have limited himself so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've learned this for me is that I have to continue to keep moving forward and continue to put like saying, yes, I've got the award, but I have to represent myself into being a better Christian every day because of that.
Yes. And like you said about Paul, he probably would have never been Paul if he
No.
was just content and stopped. And that's such an important phrase is keep going. Me and Ron Franklin, we talked about this in episode 4. Keep going. It's such a cliche, like I said before, also in trusting in the Lord. But keep going and keep pushing. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. If you have no idea where you're going, like no clue where, God, I have no idea what you want to do with me. Just keep going.
Yeah.
There's being stagnant, being satisfied, being content with where you are and, not really wanting to push for something more, push for excellence. Tim Tebow talks about it all the time. We are not, as Christians, we are not to be mediocre. We are called to something higher than ourselves, and we are called to greatness. So taking that every day, using that to the best of our ability, and that knowledge of just pushing, just one more step,
Yeah.
just see tomorrow. What does it have to hold for us? Push through that uncertainty, but keep God at the center of it, that through that whole entire process. And I promise you it'll be so much more easier to face trials and tribulations, like you said. And like you said, those trials, they produce perseverance, but they also produce maturity. They make us into men, into women.
Mhm.
They strengthen us as people and as Christians. And that's something that is super important to understand is this trial is not here to destroy you. And I literally just had a video that I made today that I
Mhm.
talked about that. So yeah, super. I honestly, that's advice that I wish I learned 2 years ago and
Yeah.
kept it with me every day. But you didn't just go to Pikeville just to, be a part of FCA. You became the president.
Yeah.
So how has that role helped you grow as a leader and as someone walking in faith and representing Jesus Christ?
That how I really got into FCA was I had actually a baseball player. He was like, "Hey, you should come to FCA." And we always had it in high school, but it didn't really represent as much as it does here.
Hmm.
It was really growing a lot, and I loved being with them because it was mostly actually players from baseball, softball, even some basketball at that time too. And I was like, I really like being with these people.
Yeah.
And once I did that, it's like I think there's something more that I could pursue.
Hmm.
And I really went. I felt a change in my heart. It's like I need to give more to them.
Yeah.
I think it's so easy for us just to get. We can ask God, give me, give me, give me.
Yeah.
But if we can't give to people, then how is he supposed to give me?
Yeah.
Like if I can't cherish my own life, how am I supposed to cherish somebody else's? And so that was really it was the first thing I was learning is just I have to cherish somebody else's life first before I can cherish my own. Because I am second. I am not deserving
Yeah.
to be a FCA president. I'm not. I
Hmm.
really am not. And so for me is it's a whole different representation of just being, somebody that attends.
Yeah.
It's you're playing with somebody's life. You have blood on your hands. You're teaching somebody the work of Jesus. And they could represent, you may be the one and only person to see the light of Jesus from you and not somebody else.
Yeah.
And so I think it means so much is when somebody looks up to you for that. So I think it does come with a lot more responsibility too, especially being a teacher, and managing kids and managing people. And I think that's so important because I think if I just be a president but don't do nothing for them,
Hmm.
I'm not doing anything for them. I'm actually
Yeah.
hurting it. I'm actually
Right.
making it worse. And
Hmm.
so, yes, I have to tell them, yes, you may not be doing the right thing, But I'm not perfect either. We are all learning together. We're all trying to disciple each other.
Yeah.
So I've learned is that yes, I have to be a good role model. Yes, I have to give into these kids, but also we're all learning together.
Hmm.
Not one opinion's right. Not one opinion's right. We're all
Yeah.
trying to work together. And
Hmm.
somebody may go through the same situation that you don't even know. So I thought being a president is that surrounding myself with kids, like-minded individuals is for me the most important because I've learned from their situations how it relates to me and
Yeah.
how I learn from them because I don't know it all. So
Hmm.
learning from them, I can learn it from me. And
Yeah.
maybe I've learned I can give it to them. So we're always just learning and discipling each other.
Yeah. And that's super special. We have life group here at the Cumberlands, and our catcher, Clay Shelton,
Yeah.
he leads it. And what we talked about the first couple weeks was about our representation of Christ, maybe the first time someone actually encounters Christ. So how
Yes.
we act, how we present ourselves, all that stuff is super important because you have no idea. Same thing with baseball. Like there's someone out there that has never seen you play before, has never seen you pitch before, and they're watching you for the first time.
Yeah.
And I think that was sometime. I think Michael Jordan mentioned something about that. It's like I have to put on a show because I know that there's someone that hasn't watched me play in person before, and I want to do it for that person. We can
Yeah.
do it for those people there of how we present ourselves in Jesus as Christians. You know,
Yeah.
how am I walking? Am I walking the right way? Am I doing this right? Am I doing the right thing? And like you said about you don't feel qualified or um, you don't deserve being the president. I felt the same exact way making verse of the day videos or creating this podcast. I have no qualifications to do this. I'm just another college student. I have this aspiration to want to do more and make my platform more than myself. But other than that, I'm not qualified to do it. I
No.
say I'm not even like a great speaker. I use filler words all the time, kind of. I'm not like an amazing speaker, but
Mhm.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my part to get better at that, but also making sure that I articulate my thoughts and be um, conscious of what I tell people and how I feed the word into people and the truth of Jesus and just do it. Just try. And I think that's the most important thing that what you're doing right now is even though you said you don't deserve it, you're doing what we're called to do, which is bring others to him. Even in Matthew 5 verse 16, it says, in the same way, let your light shine before others,
Yeah.
that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So yeah, we're doing our best to let light shine before others to show them the our Father in heaven,
Mhm.
Jesus. And that's all that we can do. We can do our best to lead others and show people the right way.
I was gonna say another thing too is like I was saying we all disciple each other. I'll give you an
Yeah.
example. When Jesus turned the water into wine, he didn't do it just for one person.
Hmm.
He did over probably two to 5,000
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And I'll give this for your perspective on this. So Barberville, where Union College is,
Hmm.
held about 2,500 people. He fed the county two times over with 5 loaves of bread and a whole lake of wine.
Wow.
To
Yeah.
think about that, he fed a whole county of people.
Yeah.
And even Simon and Andrew both forgot some loaves of bread.
Hmm.
And so with 5 loaves of bread and two fish, he fed over the entire town of people.
Yeah.
And so I've always thought I'm not breaking bread with just one person. I'm breaking bread to them and then they're breaking bread to me. So I'm
Yeah.
constantly learning.
Yeah.
So that's kind of when you were saying that, that's reminded me a lot of is that the wine was not just for one person, it's for the
Hmm.
entire people.
That's money. That's awesome. Great. Yeah. That's awesome. That's kind of a crazy thing to think about too, is how the miracles of Jesus, and I encourage you all to read that story if you haven't.
It's a
Um,
great story.
it's
Great story.
amazing. But yeah, I actually saw, so whenever I was, doing some research on you to figure out, what you're about, the things you do, all that stuff, I found a picture and I'll post this in the podcast, but you were doing the Cliff stance with Cliffe and Stuart Knechtle.
Yeah.
So, talk about their ministry, about Cliffe and Stuart, and how big a influence they have been on you, like answering the tough questions, debating people, and shaping your own understanding and confidence in discussing Christianity with others.
So, actually, that was actually one of my teammates. He's like, "You want to do the stance?" It's like, "Yeah, I would love to." Um, I've learned Cliff has had to be learned to be so patient with people.
Hmm.
I don't think I could ever get to that kind of patience, to be honest
No.
with you. I have a hard time with patience. I wish I could learn better patience, but Lord knows me, I have a hard time with patience because I
Yeah.
always want something quick. I want something right now.
Yeah.
But I think for us, God can't use us at sometimes at the right given moment. Like we can't do it right now. Sometimes God can't use us right now.
Hmm.
It has to be at his time that he wants us to move.
Yeah.
So, I was saying like for us to be stagnant. Well, I was thinking of us, Cliff had to move with people slowly, periodically.
Yes.
And also his son is the same way, is
Yeah.
that he moves with people periodically, not fast, fast, fast pace. Because I think
Hmm.
us with athletics, we're
Hmm.
always fast paced. We're always moving. We always have to make quick decisions, especially on
Yeah.
the field. If we're making a double play, I got to know if I'm going to go to second or go to first, or if I'm
Hmm.
going to go or if I'm going to go home. If there's a game winning run, I got to make the play, not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think with Cliff is that he has to periodically be with those kids and just
Yeah.
slowly introduce it to them.
Yeah.
Once that happens, the kids actually soak into that knowledge so much more.
Hmm.
That's one thing I've learned from Cliff is that you have to be patient. And
Yeah.
as I think I've went through these setbacks to be patient with people.
Right. And I think a big part of it too is he's changing kind of the Gen Z era and leading people to Christ because of how he engages with others. He
Yes.
may he may be disrespected or may be challenged in some way, but he never comes back at them and
Oh,
curses their name. But he's I've seen him get fired up some, but I think it's just because he's so passionate about God and he's on fire for Jesus. And that passion, I mean, it's almost like a candle. You take a candle and you have another one, you light that candle with that fire, then that person has that fire. You light it with another candle and that person has that fire. Just continuing
mm.
down the line. And I think that's awesome. I love what he's doing. I've always listened to him ever since he got popular about a year ago. I'd say I saw him on TikTok and I've just watched his videos. And I think him and Stuart are awesome. I've tried to watch majority of their stuff
And you saying
and
that too, Bryce Crawford just came out with an episode with actually, with the KKK. He was talking about,
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
but you can see how patient he is with him.
Hmm.
And you can see that it wasn't just like an answer, it was like personally right at him.
Yeah.
It was so patiently given to him. And he was, he's known he's had to have practice for that. And I think us in our faith, we have to practice.
Yeah.
Practice does not become perfect, it becomes better.
Right. And
So
think
I
about the
think,
person, yeah, think about the person he's talking to. I mean, he's talking to like the leader of the KKK
yes,
and that this dude has killed so many people
yes,
and has horrible ideologies that are evil. And he's treating them with so much passion and grace and love and patience. It's
yes.
unreal. I mean, that power of God that we
It's
get from
unbelievable.
him it's unreal how we can be so
Uh,
patient with others if we really accept him into our hearts.
but getting to
Um,
listen to that, it was just, he was so patient with them. And I
yeah,
think that's what I really noticed with Cliff too, is just being patient.
yeah,
If we're not patient with other people, then how are they supposed to be patient with us?
exactly.
And so you were saying that we have to let our light shine. I've always thought we can represent as a lamp.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that, so in a dark room, so say in my dorm room that is completely dark in here, right?
Yeah.
When you turn on the light, all the light goes into the room and the dark vanishes.
Hmm.
So I think for us, we have to light that light bulb.
Yes.
We had to ask Jesus to light that light bulb so we could push the dark out.
Hmm.
I think for us is that we have to continue for that light bulb to stay plugged in.
Yeah.
If that light bulb does not stay plugged in, it just dies out. It won't turn on.
Hmm.
The darkness will still be in the room.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I've learned is that you have to continue to let that light shine through.
Yeah.
So
Exactly right. This is my last question, but what advice would you give to a student athlete, maybe a young person, either coming into college or still in high school that's facing setbacks, transitions, or maybe doubting their faith? How do you hope that your story inspires others to pursue excellence and continue to keep going while still trusting in God's plan?
I think that's such a great question, and I'm so glad you asked. But I think there's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Hmm.
God did not just set you in that one spot just because he wanted to. He's trying to use you for your glory.
Yeah.
And I think it's so easy for us to be like, well, God, why are you doing this to me? Why?
Hmm.
He's really putting you in this spot for you to learn to teach us somebody else
Yeah.
because they may look at you and be like, I need to listen to him more.
Yeah.
I think for us, that God puts us in these spots and these positions for these setbacks to use us for his glory, not for just ours, but it's for his.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
think it's so easy for us, like, yes, I did it. I was the one that got through it. I was the one that did all this. Well, the Lord's put you through these setbacks to let you learn, to grow wisdom, to grow patience, to use not just your ability to get out of it, but God's gave you lessons and tribulations to go through that as you go into your next chapter in life.
Yeah.
Because sports for us is not going to last forever. As much as
Hmm.
I wish I could keep playing baseball for the rest of my life. But my body wears down. It does. My knees, my back, my
Your
elbow,
arm.
your arm. Your arm just can't take it after a while.
No,
I
it
mean,
can't.
there's guys in MLB right now, they're getting 4 Tommy John surgeries.
Yeah.
So our body breaks down. And so uh, we have to use our platform. We have to adapt our platform to somebody else.
Yes.
And so I think if somebody is going through those setbacks, there is light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to adapt to that situation, but also grow from that situation. Be
Yeah.
willing to listen because it's so easy for us to put our hand over our ears and not listen to God.
Yes.
It's so easy to ignore his presence. But
Hmm.
if we listen to his presence and we want to see him actually talking to us and actually being with us,
Hmm.
we can really see God actually move in our life.
Yeah.
Uh, this final thing I will say is that um, if we put our hands over our ears, we can't hear nothing. We can't hear nothing. But we have a fire alarm in our room, right?
Yeah.
It gives you a sign, hey, you got to get up and get out.
Yeah.
God will give you signs to listen, to talk to him. Sometimes we ask so much, hey, God, give me this. But if you pray and just sit there, Lord, talk to me,
Hmm.
he will tell you what you need.
Yes.
It's so easy for us to be selfish and say, yes, God, I did all this.
Hmm.
I did all this. But if God talks to us, he will give us the answers that we need. It may not be necessarily what we want to hear, but he'll give us what we need and
Yeah.
what lessons that we need to learn from it. So that's kind of what I would tell somebody if they're going through the same situation that we got to go through. That's what I would tell.
Yeah. And we've talked about patience a lot on this episode. But even in Psalm 27, verse 14, it says it twice. It says, wait for the Lord, be strong, take heart, and wait for the Lord. And
Yes.
just being consistent with that and knowing that, man, like, we don't hear you. We don't hear you, God. What do you
Yeah.
want from me? Like, what are you trying to tell me? And just trusting, just like we said before, just trusting in God and his plan for us. I have
Yes.
no idea what this season has in store. It could be bad, it could be good. Hopefully, it's what we want. We want it to be good. It could be a teaching moment. It could be one of the best seasons that I've ever had in my life. It could change my life.
Yeah.
It also couldn't do anything for me. It also could, it's just honestly knowing that he has my life in his hands gives me peace to walk to each new day knowing that his hand is on my life.
Yeah.
And if I know that his plan is good for me.
And probably one more
Um,
thing I could add is just being connected with a strong community of people that are
oh yeah,
like-minded to you.
100%.
Because I think
Yes.
it's easy for us to put ourselves in the wrong group of people, and that can really disturb us away or really get us a lot stronger.
Yeah, 100%. And
And
that
so,
camaraderie of people. I even said it before in one of my videos. If you hang around with bums, you'll be a bum. If you hang around
yeah,
with winners, you'll be a winner.
yeah,
Same thing about being a Christian is spreading your faith to others and making sure that, I mean, even Jesus went to parties. He went to places where there was weakness. He went to places there was sin. He surrounded himself with people that weren't like him to change their life.
yeah,
And we can do that with us, is just creating a community around us of our teammates, of people in our cities, people that are
yes,
close to us, people that are from back home. I mean, we have social media. We have the greatest tool of all time to get news out to people. It can also be bad, used for bad, but
oh
using it for good can change the world. We can
yeah,
reach thousands of people by clicking three buttons:
yeah,
record, end recording, post.
yeah,
That's literally all that we do have to do to change someone's life.
yeah,
Hopefully, hopefully someone receives the message and obviously we have free will to hear it. Like you said, putting our hands over our ears. We have the free will to do that.
Yep.
Or we could really listen.
But I
And
thought that free will to it, we can respect our relationship with the Lord so much more
oh yeah.
because free will. God loved us so much, He gave us a free will to listen to Him or
Yes.
not.
Exactly
Because if
right.
we were robotic and to say, yes, I'm supposed to love God, the relationship wouldn't mean as much. You chose to play baseball.
Hmm.
And so that relationship playing baseball means so much more to you. If somebody told
Yes.
you to play baseball, it wouldn't mean as much.
Yeah.
So I think a relationship with Lord, if we choose to love Him, we choose to follow Him, that relationship is so, so much more.
Hmm.
If God told His people, yes, you have to love me, it wouldn't mean as much.
Yeah.
So He gave us a free will to choose to love Him and to create a relationship with Him. Once we create that relationship is cherished so much more.
Hmm.
So in my opinion, if we just do not cherish our relationship with Him, we can't cherish other people's relationships and we can't build a community of people. In the Corinthians, the church was so divided because we couldn't cherish each other's relationship with each other. We couldn't build
Yeah.
a people. But once the church became undivided and actually came together with the church, that's how the community grows so much more.
Hmm. You're
So
exactly right.
that's why I can see us is that we have to build a church of people. And church is just outside the walls of the church. It's on the field, it's in the classroom, it's in the weight room. There's so much more that there is just outside the church and outside the
Hmm.
church.
Yeah.
We have to expand the church outside the church.
Exactly
So,
right. That's awesome.
but
But yeah,
Cole,
man.
I've had a blast. Do you got any more questions for me? Anything
No,
I can answer?
that's it, man. If you got anything else to say, you take it away, man. This has been awesome. I'm very blessed to have you on here. We've spit some knowledge, spit some truth out there. So hopefully those listening will hear it and appreciate the message. And I mean, this has been awesome, man. If you got anything else, just you got the floor.
Can I pray over you before we go?
Yeah, of course, bro.
Okay. All right, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, just thank you for your time, Lord. Just thank you for just your many things you can do for us, Lord. Just thank you for your patience you give us, and thank you for the wisdom that you give us, Lord. Lord, that wisdom is more precious than gold and silver, Lord, but just thank you for everything you do for us, Lord. Just thank you for being so forgiving for us. Lord, that just we're never deserving of your forgiveness, but Lord, just thank you for so much what you do for us. And Lord, that we couldn't be thankful for you for what you've done for us and put us in us together. As Lord, as we've known that me and Cole have went to two different schools, two different rivalries, but Lord, just thank you for bringing us together. And Lord, just thank you for helping create this relationship with Cole. Lord, just to bless him as he's going to this season. And just, Lord, just thank you for many his abilities that you gave him just so he can build your church. In his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so
Cole,
much, bro. That's awesome, man.
I appreciate you so much. If you need anything, just let me know, okay?
Of course. All right, y'all. Thank
All
y'all so
right.
much for watching Speak from the Heart. Come back next Sunday for the next episode.